Hello, my name is Susan Young, and welcome to my channel. It, we're going to be covering today the roots of compulsive shopping, and this is part 4 of our series. So welcome. When Richard was 5 years old, his mother died in a car accident. He remembers the funeral, seeing his father and all the other relatives cry. He remembers also asking over and over again, "Where's Mommy? When's Mommy coming back?" Although he was told that she was dead, it was beyond his comprehension that she could really be gone forever, that she had abandoned him. When young children lose their parents, they feel many emotions in addition to sorrow. Children often believe they are responsible for their parents' disappearance, creating a feeling of guilt and confusion. If children who lose their parents ever had a momentary wish that their parents would disappear or die, their guilt can become unbearable. Children also feel anger and confusion at being abandoned when they lose a parent. "How could you forsake me?" they wonder. Yet, while this question burns inside them, they often can't allow themselves to consciously express their anger. So, the anger is turned inward, where it fosters the growth of self hatred and worthlessness. They grow up with a core of sadness, feeling that they weren't worthy enough for their parents to stay. The world becomes a frightening and unpredictable place. If mother can suddenly disappear, anything can happen at any time. They count on nothing. Children feel less powerless and in this frightening and indifferent universe for them. However, if a child's remaining parent is supportive and loving, allowing the child to express his or her feelings and work through the trauma, the child will learn to adapt and will not suffer serious loss of self esteem. Richard suffered a great deal over the loss of his mother. He never had anyone with whom he could talk and share his feelings of confusion and pain. There was a series of female relatives who helped out when he was young, but they were too preoccupied with their own families to pay enough attention to him. His father was an articulate, simple man, well meaning, but totally unequipped to deal with the complexities of his own feelings, let alone his son. Every night it went the same way, recalled Richard. My father and I would sit across from each other at the dinner table, and he'd say, "How was school today?" without even looking up from his plate. I'd say, "Okay," and he'd say, "Make sure you do all your homework before you watch any more TV." And I'd say, "Okay." That would be it. Sometimes I would start to tell him how school really was, but he never seemed to know what to say. He'd listen, say a few pat things, and keep eating. So I gave up trying to talk to him. What was the use? Richard would think other mothers looked so nice when they came to school and when he went to visit his friend's house. As the memories of his mother began to fade, he started creating a fantasy, a mother who was beautiful, kind, nurturing, and always there for him. He spent hours on end imagining all the things he and his fantasy mother would do together. He learned to create an imaginary world instead of expressing his feelings and trying to get what he needed from the real world. It was quite natural that he would become a comic book fanatic. Comics offered an absorbing alternative universe that distracted him from the emptiness of his own. They depicted heroes who were wonderfully powerful and could save lovely women from certain death, unlike his father and he, who had done nothing to save his mother. And what had his father done to save him from feeling all alone? Comic books also gave him his first taste of personal power. He began to trade them with other boys, then buy more with the money he made. This gave him an intoxicating sense of control and mastery over the boys who coveted his comics. It also made him feel different from his father, whom he increasingly viewed as ineffectual and weak. One day, when he was 10 years old, the class was given an assignment to write about their father's work. Richard went to visit his father at the bookkeeping job. The boss treated him like dirt, criticizing his work right in front of me, Richard remembered. My father just took it, nodding obediently and continuing to work like a robot. I was so humiliated for him. I was also mad at him for being like that. Richard was mad at his mother for dying and at his father for being ineffectual. This anger was repressed and turned inward, creating self doubt and low self esteem, common seeds for compulsion. The seeds blossomed when he was 18. His aunt gave him a camera for high school graduation, which he took on a camping trip that summer. Several of the boys took their girlfriends along on the trip, but Richard never had a girl. One of the guys brought his girlfriend, Dmitri, a beautiful blonde who Richard often fantasized about. She was everything Richard and his father were not: bold, self confident, spontaneous, and joyful. Let me borrow your camera so I can take some pictures of Dmitri sunbathing, Jonathan asked Richard. He hesitated. Jonathan had the girl he wanted, but Richard had the camera. This gave him a feeling of power that somewhat compensated for his loneliness and jealousy. If you want to use it, you have to buy it, Richard said. How much? $50. It's not worth that. It's just a crummy Instamatic. You don't want it? You don't get any pictures of Dmitri. Jonathan dug into his pocket and fished out $50 to buy Richard's camera. That night, as Richard lay in his tent alone, knowing that there were couples nearby, he consoled himself of the money he had gotten from Jonathan. He couldn't win the girl, but he had won the barter. He thought about buying a better camera as soon as he got home and later selling or trading it. Richard was well on his way toward an adult obsession with buying and selling camera equipment, a compulsion that masqueraded as a hobby but was really an outlet for his anger, his insecurity, and his need for control. All of the videos in the series of The Roots of Compulsive Shopping that we are covering involve middle class families, but compulsive spenders can come from any background, rich or poor. Although poverty itself does not necessarily lead to compulsive shopping, poverty is often accompanied by feelings of hopelessness, resignation, frustration, and despair. It is very difficult for parents who have these feelings to take time to enjoy their children and provide a healthy, nurturing atmosphere. So often, the children are hit with a double whammy. They lack both the things money can buy and the things money can't buy. This double deprivation often spawns addiction. If parents create a loving, joyful environment, regardless of how much money they do or don't have, their children will most likely grow up with responsible spending habits. But if there is emotional deprivation, people from poor homes can become overspenders. Shopaholics. For advice with your finances if you find yourself deep in debt, this is what I would recommend. Go to YouTube channel Zero Debt Coach. Brad Long can direct you with your finances. Brad and will be working together to help you to be successful. When you go to his channel, tell him Stop Big Spending or Susan Young sent you there. Question of the day. Shopaholics, have you checked out the root cause of your compulsive shopping? Feel free to share below. How are you doing with this video so far? If you liked the video, hit the like button below. And don't forget to subscribe. I would really appreciate it. Now check out my website at www.stopbigspending.com and leave me your email address at the Contact Us page on the website, and I will inform you on videos coming up. Hope you are enjoying our series, The Root of Compulsive Shopping. See you next week here on YouTube, and see you in social media. You have a great week.